You are now in tune to the Wrestling Replay. Welcome to episode number 33. I'm Cato. Hope everyone enjoyed their weekend. Next week we have a Labor Day weekend, but we kick off the week with Mondays, and you know what Mondays mean. Monday Night Raw. So let's go ahead and jump into this Monday Night Raw episode, the go-home show for Clash at the Castle, which is actually shaping up to be a really good pay-per-view, with us bringing back things like Austin Theory and Matt Riddle and words like wrestler. Maybe pay-per-view is coming back as well. So let's get into this go-home episode. I was kind of twisted on where I wanted to start, but I kind of know what I want to do now. Let's go ahead and kick it off with Damian Priest and Finn Balor defeating the likes of Dolph Ziggler and his partner AJ Styles. Now, more importantly, after the matchup, Rey and Dominic came and attacked Judgment Day until Dominic had that one-on-one face-off with Rhea Ripley. He didn't want to attack her. She kind of egged him on, but she didn't attack him at the same time. So it's still up in the air what Dominic is going to actually do, but he did say that he will be in the corner of Rey and Edge during the pay-per-view when they face off against Judgment Day. Now, with him being in the corner, I feel like it can go multiple ways, right? It can go farther stays with son, which we've seen Dominic and Rey fought through many wars already in their short term in the WWE as a father and son duo. Or it can go to the young Dominic actually joining sides with someone like Rhea Ripley, who is kind of look like she's drawing Dominic in. Maybe she's, just catching a young man's eye, you know what I'm saying? So could he actually turn on Edge and Rey Mysterio, or more likely turn on Edge, who actually gave him a spear a couple of weeks back? That can make a little bit more sense as well. So with that said, I do like what's going on with the Mysterios and Edge and Judgment Day. I have to tune in to Clash at the Castle to see how the storylines go. I really want to see what happens if Dominic does join Judgment Day and he starts to change his style. He's no longer the Dominic Mysterio that runs behind his father. So I'm really interested in to see what would happen if he did join those dark forces of Judgment Day. It could be, really good for Dominic in the long run. Also, it brings me to Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler with the NXT did an amazing job at NXT right before WrestleMania, before losing that belt to Braun Baker. He made his return a few weeks ago, interfering with the likes of Austin Theory. It kind of gave you that vibe of Dolph Ziggler was going to get some type of push. Maybe not a world title shot, maybe a chance at the briefcase, maybe a United States title run. I don't know. But now with him tag teaming with AJ Styles, I feel like he's just I feel like now they're just using him as a filler. He's a great in-ring talent. He can work his ass off. He's great to put in there with some of the younger talent to help get them over. So I don't know if that's going to be Dolph Ziggler's new role on the current Monday Night Raw roster, is to help get the younger talent over, help put on great matches. And if that's the case, more importantly, why I think you need that television championship. Someone like Dolph can contend for that championship, even have a run with it here and there, but he's going to put on amazing matches week in and week out. The fans want to see him to cheer him or see him to boo him, either or. He could kind of get you on whatever side he really wants you to get on. So I feel like he just needs some direction right now, because if he's falling back into that same Dolph Ziggler that he was when he was running with Bobby Roode, when he was just solo and he just fought matches to go out there and put on amazing matches and really gain nothing from it, I don't understand why you will even bring back the likes of Dolph Ziggler, when honestly you could just let him go back to NXT and help develop some of that younger talent. I feel like that would have made more sense. We also seen the Street Profits. They defeated the Alpha Academy. They got to celebrate with Kurt Angle with a little bit of milk. That was cool. I like the fact they brought out Kurt Angle in Pittsburgh. It makes a lot of sense. Hometown hero. They also get to play on the Alpha Academy with Chad Gable and Kurt Angle and their history and relationship that they had. That was pretty dope. We also seen Bobby Lashley defeated The Miz. The Miz is still shaking up from Dexter Lumis dragging him off last week during the matchup. So this is like it's going to be a really good storyline between Dexter Lumis, The Miz, possibly tie in a little Tommaso Ciampa, possibly tie in a little Johnny Gargano mixed with a little Austin Theory. We see Johnny and Austin Theory going at it right now. I like what's going on there. That's something that's long-term storytelling, you know what I'm saying? They brought back a storyline that they had going on from NXT a while ago, and now we can actually get this rolling in because they keep teasing at how Austin Theory should be at WrestleMania. So we're going to get Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano possibly wrestling at WrestleMania. I like that. I really like that because we got months ahead of there to actually build that up. Enough time to really put together a really good, strong storyline. So I like what's going on between the two. I really want to see what's going to happen with Dexter Lumis and The Miz because I really want Tommaso Ciampa to break away from The Miz and really go and find himself and do his own thing, if not team up with Johnny Gargano. We will see later on in the night the trio of Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka defeat 3 lesser-known talents. Quick matchup, kind of a matchup to just boost these 3, keep the momentum of these 3 going into the pay-per-view. But to be honest, man, I really just want that old Asuka back. However we need to get Asuka there, let that old Asuka come back. After this matchup with Bayley and Bianca, whether Bianca win or lose, I really don't care. I think Bianca Run is doing really good. Well, technically she just got the title back, but prior to her getting the championship, she had a tremendous win streak. I think maybe only losing once or twice. And then she captured the title back and continued to put on a dominant run, defeating Becky Lynch at SummerSlam. Now we have that new trio between Bayley, Io, and Dakota Kai come out, confront her. So after she finished with Bayley, I would love to see Asuka go back to that old Asuka role and kind of challenge Bianca Belair for that championship. Then we got to see Kevin Owens take on Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso. But more importantly, in this whole situation, Sami Zayn kind of hesitating. Well, not kind of. He hesitated to lay that cheap shot on Kevin Owens with the steel chair when Jimmy had the ref distracted. The Usos didn't like that too much. So you know it's going to be some repercussions for Sami Zayn on Friday Night SmackDown. But I like where it's going. I said last week on the Friday Night SmackDown episode that Kevin Owens has said, I want a championship. I don't care what title it is. World title, Intercon, US, tag team. And if he's going to pick a tag team champion partner, I only see 2 people that it could be. Seth Rollins, who's caught up right now with Matt Riddle, and then Sami Zayn. I would love to see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn back up in tag team matchups. These guys have a good chance to go against the Usos and take their titles. They're going to have teams like the Street Profits in their way. They're going to have Hit Row in their way. If they can get these teams out of the way, then they could possibly have a clear path to challenge the Usos for the tag team titles. If they defeat the Usos for the tag team titles, we have to really be conscious of who is next up for that World Championship title shot. Because if it's somebody like Cody Rhodes making this comeback for that World Title Championship, if it's someone like Edge making another push for that World title, they could possibly be the next WWE World Champions, because Roman will definitely be distracted while he realized the Usos have lost their titles. The Bloodline is kind of losing their way. Either A, we need to add someone else, bring in Solo, and let him help with the Bloodline, or B, he's going to be distracted, and his cousins is going to be the reason that he end up losing his world title, messing up his 2-year run. Now, in the main event, we got to see new women tag team champions crowned. It will be the likes of Aliyah and Raquel Rodriguez go against Dakota Kai and IYO SKY. For weeks, I've been coming in and feeling like IYO SKY, Dakota, and Bayley, whether it's matches, whether it's segments, that these 3 women has been kind of flat when it's time to perform in front of the crowd. The tag team matchups, when they fought Tamina and Dana Brooke, I felt like that was a little flat. That should have been a squash match. The next week, we would see Dakota Kai go against Dana Brooke in a squash match, but the crowd still wasn't feeling it. This time, in this tag team matchup, I don't know if the matchup was really just that good, because it was a really good matchup, don't get it twisted, but the crowd was also really into it, and it was your main event. This match was good enough to main event Monday Night Raw, not just because the titles was on the line, but because these women went out there and wrestled their ass off, and the crowd was reacting to it. That's one more thing I could say about WWE. Right now, with Hunter in charge, giving us more wrestling, the crowd is starting to become more reactive to what's going on in the ring. We're starting to see things like more signs in the crowd and not being taken away. It's kind of like they're beginning to be fun again. It's fun to go to these events. It's fun to have your signs. It's fun to cheer and boo or whatever. And just interact with what's going on in the ring. And I think Hunter really brought that feeling back to shows like Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. So once again, we got another really good episode on Monday Night Raw. Another episode where we're going to see a lot of storyline advancements going into this pay-per-view. Even going into Friday, we got storyline advancements between the Usos and Sami Zayn and what's going to happen there. Now with these tag team championships, with Raquel and Aliyah winning, I think that if Sasha Banks and Naomi do come back, they're going to come back as heels. It would be a good look on them. I think they could pull it off. Sasha Banks with her flair and her mic skill is going to kind of make you want to watch what she's talking about, watch what she's doing. It's going to look believable. You're going to feel exactly what they're saying because most of what they're saying is probably true and how they really felt. So it's going to be interesting if these women do make a comeback and if they will pop up at the pay-per-view. So that's another reason to tune in. Also with Triple H, you're starting to see things like, the commentary is starting to be more relaxed in what they're saying, starting to mention history and things like that. We're starting to see Matt Riddle get his name back. He's not just Riddle now. Theory isn't just Theory. He's Austin Theory again. We also seen him bring back guys like Karrion Kross, Johnny Gargano. I personally hope that he brings back Bronson Reed. There's been talks that he's going to bring back more people from NXT who was possibly let go, or more talent period that was let go. If we can get Bray Wyatt back, that's going to be an amazing boost for this roster. And I think Bronson Reed, who's on a really hot streak before these guys decided to let him go, even though I think he fit all the criteria that Vince McMahon would like in a big man. He was athletic, he could actually wrestle, and he didn't mind just using his power if he needed to, but he can also show you his athletic side by doing certain maneuvers inside the square circle. So I really didn't understand why they chose to let him go. But I think someone like him coming back can really help enhance this roster. Also, whether it's NXT, Monday Night Raw, or SmackDown. So with that draft coming up in a month's time, we're going to see a lot of new talent. We're going to see a lot of new faces on different shows. So I really can't wait to see what's going to happen when everything is kind of settled down. Triple H gets his fingerprints inside of everything that he really wants to do. Hell, even you starting to see Paul Heyman less on TV. So I feel like Paul Heyman has a lot more to do backstage than to be out there with Roman and the Usos. And Sammy kind of took that spot for him right now. Sammy's very entertaining on the microphone. He can handle his own. He can make you laugh. He can make you boo. That's kind of what he can do. So I think Paul Heyman is back there kind of working behind the scenes, and everything is just coming together. Everything is clicking on all cylinders right now. But that was pretty much everything that happened on the Go Home episode of Monday Night Raw. Really good episode of Monday Night Raw. Really good storylines to lead you into the pay-per-view, to make you want to go watch that event. So I'm definitely going to be tuning in. We'll be dropping the next video on AEW Dynamite in a couple of days. I hope you guys have a good week. See you all back here Thursday morning, bright and early. All right? I'm Cato. I'm signing out. Peace.